Closing in on the killer, sources tell News 4 investigators have several potential suspects in the murder of a Queens mother as police post a reward for the case.
Dry, clear skies, light winds, a recipe for some frost. Who could see that by morning?
If you have a sweet tooth, beware. New York Live heads to a Chelsea dessert shop serving up unique creations that are as amazing to look at as they are to eat. This is News 4 Now for April 20th. I'm Adam Cooperstein, and investigators are upping the ante now as they try to track down that killer behind the mysterious murder of a mother in Queens. A $3,500 reward is now being offered for any information that would lead to an arrest. And it comes as the list of potential suspects is growing. 4 days after Orshaya Gal's body was found in a duffel bag. Multiple law enforcement sources say investigators believe Orshaya Gal knew her attacker because there were no signs of a break-in at the house. The same sources say investigators have not zeroed in on one specific person of interest. Police say Gal was stabbed 58 times in the basement of her home in Forest Hills Saturday. Her body was found in a duffel bag dumped a half-mile from her home. Police say they questioned and released her 13-year-old son, who was home at the time of the attack. They say Gal's husband and older son were on the West Coast at the time, visiting colleges. In Brooklyn, police are trying to find fake delivery workers who the NYPD say robbed a pregnant mother at gunpoint inside her own home. Police say this happened in Flatbush on 18th Street Tuesday, right in the middle of the day. And a relative tells News 4 the pregnant woman was expecting packages and was home with her 2 kids when those suspects tricked her into opening her door by posing as delivery workers. Police say 2 men took cash and jewelry. No one was hurt, thankfully, but the super of the building says detectives looked at video from hallway security cameras, but the suspects were wearing masks and gloves. A tentative deal is now on the table to avoid a strike by New York City doormen and building workers. The deadline for a deal was set for Wednesday night, and a walkout would have impacted people living in more than 500,000 apartments across the city. The tentative agreement here includes pay raises, bonuses, no health care premium sharing. The contract still has to be ratified officially by union members before becoming finally a done deal. The sweet spot right now is in Brooklyn. That is because Haagen-Dazs has a pop-up bodega in Williamsburg on Wednesday, and it's all to celebrate the launch of a new line of ice cream. So that store on Moore Street that's named Rose and Reuben after the Bronx couple that founded Haagen-Dazs 62 years ago. Inside, you can check out the new City Sweets collection, and it features really unique flavors. We're talking things like black and white cookie ice cream and summer berry cake pop.
Hi there, I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Maria LaRosa. After a nice-looking afternoon, we're going to have a nice-looking evening. Mainly clear skies on the cool side, especially after the sun sets, with temperatures that'll be dropping slowly into the upper 40s, but we do have mainly clear skies. Another thing that'll make it a little more comfortable, those winds will start to ease up just a little bit. Still brisk as we head into the evening hours, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, and then we see it turn to the south tomorrow morning, but on the lighter side. And the combination of clear skies, lighter winds, some of that drier air moving in will cool down pretty quickly, but also the possibility of some frost. We've got 43 in the city, down to the 30s in White Plains, Sussex, Poughkeepsie, and Monticello, close to or below freezing. So there may be some patchy frost developing, and that's why we do have that frost advisory in effect for tonight, since the growing season has started in some places from Connecticut, lower Hudson Valley, and back through northwestern New Jersey. But once again, tomorrow afternoon, back up near 60 degrees.
If you have a sweet tooth for desserts that are as incredible to look at as they are to eat, we've got the spot for you. New York Live paid a visit to Chelsea for the can't-miss creations of Sweets Laboratory.
Diana, what are you doing?
Ah, you caught me! I'm baking. What do you mean? This is my favorite hobby. Plus, you're talking to the new baker of Sweets Laboratory.
Diana, stop lying.
Fine. This is Sweet Jumi, the creator of this impeccable place full of charm and kindness. She creates a work of art in every dessert she makes, and today we will choose 1 or 2 to create together. So Jumi is such a special lady, and I feel that everything about her personality has been described in every single one of the pieces that she has. What do you think her secret's been?
her secret's always been putting her heart into everything that she does, even with the food, with the people around her, the customers, everyone, you know, that she encounters. Jumi knows that you love everything sweet, so we have prepared everything for you to try.
Oh my God, I love this. I feel like I'm in desserts fairy tale. Okay, tell me, let's start with this.
This is crepes.
Crepes?
Yeah, it's like a Japanese style.
A Japanese style crepe.
And shaved ice. It's called snow sundae. And Japanese style parfait.
Fantastic. How about this one?
It's a croffle. It's
Croffle?
called croffle. You know,
I see this. What is this for? For the croffle? Can you do it? Yes, yes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay, girls. Dive in, please. One thing that I love about this dessert is extremely light. I don't feel full at all. Well, let's see after me eating this entire table.
On Thursday, people in New Jersey will be able to legally buy recreational marijuana. And Governor Phil Murphy was asked if he would use cannabis once it's for sale in his state. Here's what he said.
It's never been an animating thing for me. If we were so I'm trying to figure out a way to properly acknowledge the day on Thursday, and that's still sort of in process. If we were legalizing scotch, I would show up with a shopping cart. This has not been my thing.
The New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission has given the green light for 7 medical marijuana dispensaries to sell recreational pot at 13 locations. All state residents above the age of 21 will be able to buy it legally. Now, if you ask New York's cannabis regulator, any storefront already accepting payment for pot is jumping the gun. But plenty of businesses are doing just that. So how are they getting away with it? The I-Team went on the hunt for the answers. Chris Glorioso found cannabis entrepreneurs daring the state to shut them down because they believe the licensing process is rigged to favor big business.
Thank you, my love.
At the Empire Cannabis Club in Chelsea, they've got the staff.
We just have to double check that you guys are 21.
They've got the customers, and they've got the cannabis. They've got everything except a license to sell it.
I am entitled to make a living off of cannabis.
Co-founders Julio Brunez and Lenore Elfan say they don't need a state license to operate Empire Cannabis because, as they see it, New York's decriminalization law changed the very definition of a sale.
You can pay me if I don't make a profit. And that's exactly what we're doing here.
In this club, customers buy a membership, which gives them the right to the shared purchase of the cannabis flower.
The fact of the matter is that the flower helps cancer patients and helps people with vertigo and helps people with anxiety.
This entity exists for one purpose, for the benefit of the club members, to provide them a safe, tested, reliable product.
The difference between a nonprofit club and a for-profit store may be a subtle distinction. And if you ask New York's cannabis regulator, it is meaningless under the law.
There's no loophole.
Chris Alexander leads New York's Office of Cannabis Management.
The law is very clear that in order to sell cannabis in the state of New York, that you have to have a license provided by this office. As we have not provided those licenses, that activity is illegal.
As Albany works out details of licensure, dozens of cannabis businesses have popped up in the gray market. Some sell artwork or stickers and then gift pot to the buyers. Others operate in the shadows of social media. The state recently sent cease and desist letters to dozens of unlicensed storefronts, including Empire Cannabis, but Julio and Lenore say they won't shut their doors, in part because they feel entitled to make a living from cannabis. Julio spent 3 years in prison for growing pot, and these are pictures of Lenore's father and 2 brothers in the prison visitors' room. They spent between 2 and 10 years behind bars.
My brothers and Julio, did time for this. And when the government figured out they can make money off of it, now it's okay.
Where are they getting the product that they're gifting? Where are they getting it from? Because it ain't legal pot.
New York's cannabis regulator insists small growers and people who suffered under the war on drugs will be put in front of the line for licenses. And even if unlicensed cannabis clubs were legal, it's unclear how they could legally obtain the recreational pot club members smoke.
Some attorneys district attorneys have said they think there's a gray area in the law on this. So we want to introduce legislation to tighten up this statute, to erase that gray area, to make it clear that this activity is absolutely outside the law, and that if you engage in it, not only will you be guilty of the illegal sale and transfer of marijuana, but you will be precluded from ever getting a license in this state. So you don't get to jump the gun.
Senator Diane Savino of Staten Island sponsored New York's medical marijuana legislation, and she says medical dispensaries are currently the only ones licensed to sell cannabis. Savino has now written a bill to clarify recreational cannabis clubs and other creative business models are not permitted.
They just decriminalized it, and she wants to recriminalize it.
New York's Office of Cannabis Management says small businesses will ultimately dominate the state's market for recreational pot, but the office does plan to try and shut down businesses that sell pot before getting licenses. As for Empire Cannabis, they say they are collecting taxes, they are testing their product, and they are preparing for a court battle. Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York. Thank you so much for joining us on News 4 Now. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.